Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a closer look at the life and career of Robert Downey Jr., using the material you shared. And what really strikes me right away is this, well, incredible story arc, starting with being thrown into acting almost as a baby, but also dealing with a pretty tumultuous childhood.
Absolutely. And looking through this document, you can really see these two distinct phases, can't you? First, there's that early promise, getting some serious recognition, but then came that very public, very intense period of struggle.
Right.
And then somehow, this just phenomenal comeback, right back to the top in Hollywood. It really is one of those stories about resilience, and we should definitely dig into how he navigated all that.
Okay, let's start at the very beginning then, using the details from the document. So Robert John Downey Jr., born in New York City, April 4th, 1965. It sounds like filmmaking was just in his blood from day one. His dad, Robert Downey Sr., an independent filmmaker. His mom, LCM, an actress.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe not surprising, he popped up on screen at 5 years old in his dad's film, Pound.
It's pretty wild, isn't it? That early exposure. He wasn't just like hanging around sets. He was actually in the movies from such a young age. But the document also points out the other side of that coin.
Mm-hmm.
His father's substance abuse issues, which you can see noted here, cast a really long shadow. And tragically, they played a big part in Downey Jr.'s own struggles later on. It just shows how those personal family dynamics can get tangled up with talent,
Yeah, definitely. And seeing that, let's say, less glamorous side of the industry early on must have had an impact. So moving into the 80s, the document mentions him being part of the Brat Pack.
Right, that group of young actors.
Yeah, they were huge in those coming-of-age films. Weird Science in 85 is mentioned, but Less Than Zero in 87, that one really stands out, doesn't it? Playing a drug addict. And like you said, the document notes this almost creepy parallel between the role and his own life starting to unravel.
It's such a crucial point and, almost unsettling. That line between the art and his real life getting blurry, it probably fueled the performance, but also, raised alarms. He was getting noticed for his talent, definitely. But underneath all that, these issues were brewing that would soon just explode publicly.
It's a stark reminder, isn't it? Fame doesn't make you immune.
Not at all.
Then we get to the 90s. The document highlights 1992 Chaplin. Wow, an incredible performance as Charlie Chaplin, and bam, an Oscar nomination for Best Actor. That's huge.
Oh, absolutely huge. That nomination wasn't just like a pat on the back. It was serious validation of his skill, his dedication. Playing Chaplin, that takes immense talent.
For sure.
You'd think that would be the launching pad, right? But as the document lays out, that's when the personal struggles really started to, overshadow everything else in a big, concerning way.
And that brings us to a really rough patch, the late 90s, early 2000s. The addiction battles became super public, legal troubles piling up. The document doesn't really hold back here. It mentions multiple arrests, like that 1996 one possession of heroin, cocaine, and an unloaded gun. That's serious. And then 1999, a 3-year prison sentence for violating probation. It shows just how bad things got.
And looking at this timeline, you see that cycle, right? The document mentions multiple rehab attempts. It wasn't just a case of deciding to quit. These were deep, ongoing battles. And the consequences were massive. That 2001 rearrest, as noted here, got him fired from projects. It just totally derailed his career momentum. It was just immense turmoil, personally and professional.
Yeah, it really looked like his career was just, circling the drain. The document says this went on until about 2003, and then it points to something specific. The influence of his future wife, Susan Downey, as a real turning point.
Right, and that's often so key, isn't it? Having that strong support system. The document gives Susan Downey a lot of credit for helping him turn things around and for being vital in his sobriety journey. It really speaks to the power of connection, having someone believe in you, especially when you're at rock bottom.
And from that absolute low, what comes next is, like the document says, one of the greatest comebacks in Hollywood history. 2008, Tony Stark, Iron Man, the first MCU movie. It's almost hard to believe, considering where he was just a few years before.
It truly is remarkable, and the document even mentions Marvel was hesitant at first, which, given his public history, you can understand.
Sure.
But it was the director, Jon Favreau, who really went to bat for him. He was convinced Downey was, quote, perfect for the role.
Yeah.
That says a lot about Favreau's vision and also about the talent that Downey Jr. still clearly had. Despite everything, sometimes it just takes someone else believing in you, right?
And Favreau was dead right. Iron Man just exploded. The document lists some crazy outcomes, like 10-plus MCU appearances, The Avengers, Infinity War,
The
Endgame.
biggest films imaginable.
Yeah, and he became one of the highest-paid actors on the planet, earning like $75 million plus per film at his peak. That's insane.
Hmm.
But maybe even bigger, he became this global icon. His whole redemption story just resonated with people everywhere.
Absolutely. And if you think about it, his Tony Stark wasn't just a character. People connected with that vulnerability, that wit he brought. You can almost see how his own journey fit into that performance. It became this symbiotic thing between him and the role, pushing both to incredible heights. The money's staggering, sure, but the cultural impact, that message of second chances, that's arguably even more profound.
Totally agree. And it wasn't just Iron Man either. The document also points out Sherlock Holmes in 2009 and the sequel in 2011, both described here as big box office hits. So he wasn't just a one-trick pony in the MCU.
Exactly. That shows his versatility, doesn't it? He could carry a massive superhero blockbuster and nail a complex literary character like Sherlock Holmes. It proved his comeback wasn't a fluke. It was a genuine resurgence. He had broad appeal.
Which brings us more up to date. 2023, he's in Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer as Louis Strauss. And as you noted, that turned out to be huge, leading to his first ever Oscar win, Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah, it's like his career came full circle, from that early Oscar nomination through all the struggles and then decades later, finally getting that ultimate validation from the Academy. It's just a powerful testament to perseverance, dedication to his craft, even after hitting rock bottom so publicly. It wasn't just getting back on track. It was a total, resounding triumph.
The document also gives us a glimpse into his personal life again. Married Susan Downey in 2005. Her crucial role in his sobriety gets another mention. They have 3 kids. And it's interesting, beyond acting, he's described as a passionate philanthropist and entrepreneur involved in AI and environmental stuff.
Right, shows he's got interests beyond just Hollywood. Seems like a real desire to use his platform, his resources, to make a positive impact. It adds another layer to his story, doesn't it? A commitment to giving back, engaging with big issues.
So wrapping up this deep dive based on the document, Robert Downey Jr.'s life. It's just undeniably a story of redemption, resilience, and reinvention. I mean, navigating those incredibly tough personal battles to become one of the biggest stars in the world, it's quite something.
It really is. And as we've seen from this material, his journey is this potent reminder that even when things look dire, rebuilding is possible. His willingness to face his issues, combined with that undeniable talent and, crucially, the support he had. It creates this truly inspiring narrative that still connects with so many people. He didn't just come back. He kind of redefined what a Hollywood comeback could even mean.
It really does make you think, doesn't it? Looking at everything we've discussed from Downey Jr.'s story, what specific bits about resilience, about reinventing yourself really stick with you personally. It's definitely a powerful story to mull over, even after we finish up here.